Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be digging into the damage on the Volvo. I found a junkyard with a car the same color, so we're going to be going to check that out tomorrow to see what parts are still there and what we can snag off of it. From the research that I did, we should be able to get just about everything here except for the front bumper, which seemed to be gone on this car, but they have another car where the front bumper is a different color, so we'll go check that out and see the condition of it, see if any of the clips are broken and whatnot. So maybe we'll end up getting that and repainting it, and see if we can't hone our skills a little bit more on painting. Yeah, so let's get into it while we give the interior a bit more time to dry out. So we've got basically most of the front shell off, both fenders and the front bumper. For any of those of you who are doing a Volvo S40 on your own, there were two fender bolts up here. This was on the fender on the driver's side. There were two here, and then there was one here, one through the wheel well here, and then one behind the rocker panel here. All you gotta do is pull this clip out right here, and then you can get that fender out from underneath. That's not too bad. Looks like all of our fender liners are in good shape. There's no hole in the washer fluid reservoir. That looks good. Here you'll be able to see a little bit more of the internal damage. This upper radiator support, she's pretty well had it, so we're going to need one of those. But the important part is all of this stuff unbolts, and these arms look really good. They don't look like they took too much of the brunt, and they look identical on both sides, which is fantastic. So we're going to keep diving into it. I'd tell you where the bolts were on the front bumper, but there weren't really many holding it on, so I'm guessing a lot of them got broken off. I know there was some on the top that I did not have to take off. The ones that I did take off, however, there was one on top, both sides, one on each side, and then there were the fender liner screws that went through here that were holding it on each fender liner, and that was basically it. With the addition of these little connections here, that basically those are for fog light option cars. And I assume the reason that they put this in 100% of the cars is it is more cost effective for the manufacturer to only have one variant, as opposed to having to do the logistics behind two different variants and then having to sequence that however that may work. So and in the bottom of the bumper, you'll see where those plug in. It's got little connections for them. Not sure if you can see that. One on each side, just like a dummy plug for that harness. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you is I left the other headlight in because it is a very unique way of removing these headlights. They're not held on by any screws or bolts. They're basically held on by this little clip in here. And basically all you do is you pull straight up on it and it pulls right out of there, just like so. And then your headlight is on these two little extensions or extrusions from the upper radiator support, and very easily just pulls right out of here, just like that. And then you have your one connection for your headlights, and then the headlight is out as well. So pretty simple. This car's so far, the interior, a couple things were a little odd, and I'll show you that when we put it back together. But for the most part, very easy to work on. Very easy to work on. Let's get some more of this bent and damaged stuff out of the way, because I'm really interested in looking in the frame rail and this front crash bar, although it looks to be in good shape, which is awesome. Awesome news, which means there wasn't much, if any. I don't see any impact on this crush section of the crash bar, so that's awesome news. We won't need one of those. That's great news. Well, let's keep digging into it so we know exactly what we need come time to strip parts from the other car that I have found. Alright guys, we've got the front or the upper radiator support all loose. I just want to walk through what exactly we had to remove to get to this point. So there's two bolts here, one on each side. They've got another one here. And there was another one here that went to this bracket here. We removed the hood latch. We had to remove both of these circular, which is this part right here, which unfortunately is the top of the radiator that has broken off on both sides. So we're gonna need that. I don't know if I need the whole thing or just this upper piece. I'm gonna might see if I can get that off, so we don't need to purchase the entire radiator or drain the cooling system, more importantly, because looking down in here it looks okay, and the coolant is not empty. So, and it sounded like there was still some pressure in it, so that's good news. So I'm going to try and just get that top piece off of that radiator if I can, so that I don't have to drain anything, which would be pretty awesome. What else did we take off? We took off, this was before, went to this plastic piece that covered here, like it's an air channel basically for the radiator. Took the horns off. We had to remove the hood release cable from the upper here, and I think the only thing left is in behind these supports. There's a sensor on the other side. You see I've already taken this side off. So 2 bolts, pretty long bolts, but once you take those off, I believe that's the last holding this on. Just have to get some of these wires out through here. I think that's it. So we just get that one thing off, and then this upper is ready to come out, and then we can assess how much structural there is. If it's just a couple bend tabs here and there, like you can see this is bent a little bit, but that's all minor stuff. As long as this point is not bent, we are golden. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for today. We got the entire thing tore down. The only thing we didn't do was the hood. I'm not sure if those hinges are any good or not. I'm going to take a bunch of pictures, and then I'm going to compare them to the parts car or car at the junkyard tomorrow, and decide from there if I need to snag those off that car as well. Overall, not too bad. Unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna have to replace this radiator unit. So we'll see what the pull apart has tomorrow. Hopefully everything except for that front bumper, because I'm pretty sure that's already gone. But hopefully it has everything else. All these plastics, all this stuff that's broken, this, that. But yep, that's gonna be it for today, folks. If you like what you see, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. It greatly helps myself and the channel grow. We're looking to make this a regular thing, and I highly enjoy tearing these down and building them back up. So like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more. There's definitely more to come. We're going to start trying to get these in and out quickly. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.